Joining us is Peter McGuire from XMP. Very good to catch up with you. Happy new financial year to you. Of course, we do take this time now to look back at the first half of the year, and you only have to look at the States to see those impressive gains.
Absolutely, Andrew. Good morning. And yes, I think the second half, if it can replicate what we've done in the first half, it'd just be a showstopper of a year. You know, we haven't seen numbers like this since '83 for the NASDAQ. It was just extraordinary, the build over the first 3 to 4 months and build on AI, and just outstanding. That's all you can say. And the fear of missing out, I think, has really hit everyone between the eyes.
All right, so what do we need to look out for in the second half then, do you think, Pete?
Well, I suppose the inflation story, how many more rate rises you see from the Fed, from central banks across the globe, what happens to us domestically here, and slow down globally. Is that going to ratchet up? I'm looking at the Tankan survey coming out of Japan today. I think it's going to be better than expected. You've got this quarter could be relatively strong, and the next quarter or two could be, reasonably very, very good. So that's a confidence booster for a big dynamic country like Japan.
Yep. Well, we've got quite a bit happening data-wise internationally. We've got non-farm payrolls at the end of the week, of course. We do, in the middle of the week, we've got the holiday, the Independence Day holiday in the States as well.
Absolutely. Yeah. When you're looking at that non-farm payroll, I think it'll be close to 200,000. That's what the analysts are forecasting. We had 339,000 for May, Andrew. So 200 is a bit of a pullback, but hey, it's still better than nothing. So, and it could be wrong. I mean, many times that analysts come out and they say it's going to be 200 and it shoots to 400. So, hold on to your hat, because I think it's going to be a very interesting week. And as you mentioned, July 4, of course. And
a big week locally with the RBA meeting tomorrow.
Yeah, 37% probability. That's what our numbers are showing as far as a rate rise. Are they going to surprise? Do they get the trifecta? They've pulled the rug on the last two, as far as analysts saying that you won't see a rate rise. So that's 2 out of 2, and maybe we get the trifecta up. So I probably am erring on that side. I won't be surprised to see another rate rise here. So yeah, just let's hold on to our hats and let's see what happens.
All right. Well, of course, a rate hike would be broadly supportive for the Aussie dollar. But just taking a look at the performance of the Aussie, certainly over the past 10 days, it's been about the worst performer.
Absolutely. Yeah, it's got pounded down. We had a really nice rally to the upside, hit 68 odd, and I thought, well, maybe you got a chance of 70, but it just absolutely got smashed. And back at that channel, Andrew, the 66.7 sort of range, and it's just holding in that sort of band. And very, very difficult to see launch off again. If there's no rate rise, I think it's going to probably tank. And if you do see a rate rise, maybe you might see a little bit more move to the upside.
And you sort of mentioned the yen earlier there. Obviously, with no sign of real inflation in Japan, that has also struggled.
Yeah, exactly. 145 sort of handle. Do we see intervention? When you're thinking about what we've seen in the last period, where you get to 145 to 150 for BOJ to intervene, I'm pretty sure that that'll happen, and I think we'll get that sort of blast off sometime in July. It's erring on the side of maybe a 146 handle this week, and let's see what the Fed does as far as rhetoric and commentary and news items. So yeah, I truly believe that you're going to see intervention from the BOJ, and it won't be too far away.
All right, okay, that's something to keep an eye on. Commodities, Pete, what are you looking for here? Let's take a look at oil. Where are you seeing this going?
It's still languishing. We've had quarter on quarter, as far as declines, Andrew. So that's not a good sign. And there's no doubt. I talk to the Middle East frequently, and they just want higher prices. It's as simple as that. They've got smashed on the US dollar. They've got smashed on oil prices, and they've got their own budgetary concerns, the likes of Saudis and so on. So they want that 85 to 90, and we've just got to see whether that materialises in the second half. If it does, it's going to be frightening for inflation. But, for consumer land, we all like this sort of price point. So we've just got to see how it all rolls.
Yep, indeed. Pete, gold actually struggled that quarter, didn't it?
Yeah, it did. We had a high one, that we hit 22,000 to 2,070 sort of number, and then it's given back a lot of that hot steam, Andrew. So it seems to be, again in that channel. Yeah, what's it at the moment? About 1930. So it's it'll see better days, and I think the second quarter will be, the second half will be better than the first half, and that may be the pocket handkerchief, Andrew.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, we'll see whether that brings you some luck. Pete, let's round it out with in the crypto space, Bitcoin. Another really strong performer, of course, as we're seeing these major institutions come into the space and try and set up an ETF.
Absolutely, and that's going. I think there's only so much of it, as we know. It's not as though it's like gold or silver, and you can just keep on retrieving it. There's only so much Bitcoin, and that's going to create, I think, more drive to the upside. So, I think it's, again, the second half's going to be far stronger than the first half, and back above 30,000. We've seen an enormous rally. When you look at that chart, it's nearly 100% up. I think it was November, it crashed to 15 odd thousand. So, hey, it's if it replicates in the first half, in the second half, what it did in the first half, Andrew, it's going to be a glory time for crypto traders.